Oh my god, am I live?
Well,
Holy
how do
shit.
you know that? No, they didn't.
What the fuck? Am I actually live? Oh my god, am I live? Okay. Hello everybody. This is just a total test. Just trying to go live here on YouTube and wanted to see if this works. That's crazy. Okay, what's everybody? So how do I? This will be the very first time. I would say I'm inspired by Dr. Cave, who is an anesthesiologist, and let's see, live Vegas nerve, um, Vegas nerve stimulation check-in updates on the market. Okay. Um, yeah, literally don't have any specific topic. I don't know. Am I actually live? I have no idea. Is anybody actually here? Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's see. Okay. Well, welcome everybody in today's video. I think everything's good. Okay. Well, welcome everybody. Okay. Good. So audio sounds good. Um. Okay. Cool. Well, welcome. My name is Sterling Cooley. I would like to talk to you about the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a very cool piece of your body, and it goes from your brain down your neck. It is um, it's basically an autonomic nerve, and it's very important for your overall health. If your vagus nerve isn't working properly, then you can typically see side effects from it. If your vagus nerve doesn't work properly, then you're typically going to experience a range of symptoms. They can range from very severe to very not severe, um, which is very interesting. Um, some of the ways that you can stimulate the vagus nerve are by breathing, by meditating. There's more advanced ways to stimulate your vagus nerve, like Wim Hof breathing is a great way to activate your vagus nerve. Um, what else? Some of the stuff that I do, I work with clients on stimulating their vagus nerve and helping them do it. Some of the tools that we'll typically end up using are ultrasound, supplements, definitely breathing, meditation. Um, we do we actually do some neck strengthening and exercise. Those are two really important pieces of the puzzle, I think. If you do stimulate your vagus nerve, um, you can expect to feel relaxed, calm, more centered, a little bit smarter. Your focus levels can generally improve greatly if you stimulate your vagus nerve in the right way. It is possible to overstimulate your vagus nerve. It's definitely happened before. Um, how do you know if you've overstimulated your vagus nerve? You would typically know that you've overstimulated if you start yawning a lot. Now, I'm sure if I just mentioned the term yawning, that actually make you want to yawn, which is really funny. That's very typical, very, very common. I won't do any of those practices right now just because it just makes people yawn and feel tired. So I'm going to hold off on that for right now. But yeah, I would say some of the key considerations in evaluating if you should stimulate your vagus nerve or not are going to come down to, is your health bad enough currently to merit the usage of VNS technology? I would almost argue that any modern person today in the West, if you're living in America or Europe, given the stressful nature of our environment and our world and society in general, is that probably it is important for you to do that. it's probably important for you to stimulate your vagus nerve. Just because it can really help you calm down, center yourself, feel good, keep your inflammation really low. That kind of stuff is really, really, really important. We definitely know what the side effects of having a bad vagus nerve can do. Having a vagus nerve that is not stimulated can cause some really severe health problems, and we don't want that. So, what are some of the current market options for stimulating your vagus nerve? I think this is a really important thing. So, I would probably say that the best ways to stimulate your vagus nerve are going to be anything that's natural first. Always try to do something natural first. All natural means is eating a good diet, keeping your gut-brain axis healthy, exercise, walking, meditation, breathing, even taking a cold shower here and there, jumping into ice water, taking an ice cold bath, going to the sauna, using once you talk about a sauna, that's not exactly natural. I don't know where you can find a sauna in the modern world just, around, but yeah, that's where you start to get into it. Well, is this more a device? Is this more of a technology? And I would argue that a sauna probably is more of a technology form, but it's still really good. I would highly recommend that you do some sauna. What else? So, yeah, I think that, so some of the ways that you can stimulate your vagus nerve with tech, there are some really good technology options. The most invasive form of VNS is an implanted vagus nerve stimulator. That is a device where you will get a device surgically implanted into your neck, and it will basically stimulate your vagus nerve all the time, every day, like all day, every day, nonstop. So that's definitely going to be happening. What else? So yeah, if you get an implanted device, you would usually get that implanted by a neurologist. They will basically implant a VNS device in your neck. You'll have a battery-powered electrical device here, and then they're going to run a cable up your neck. It's going to wrap around your vagus nerve, and then they're going to suture you back up, send you home. 2 weeks later, then they're going to turn the device on, and they use a little programming wand they hold over it, and then they set the intensity, and they can increase the intensity or they can decrease the intensity. Usually you start low and you slowly build it up week over week till you find what's a good amount that you can handle, that you're used to. Because when you stimulate your vagus nerve electrically, especially with a VNS implant, but not just a VNS implant, it can actually apply to basically anything. It could be a VNS implant can cause this side effect. A handheld VNS device can also cause a side effect. So any kind of electrical device held against your neck or implanted in your neck is going to cause the following side effects. Tightening of your throat. That's going to make you feel like that, like a kind of a frog in your throat. It'll cause discomfort. It'll cause a tightening of your neck muscles. Some devices can even cause your mouth to go like this, and that can be uncomfortable. And there's a lot of devices that do that. So the VNS device is something that you'll have implanted in your neck. The other device options are a handheld vagus nerve stimulator. These are the devices that you'll physically hold up against your neck, right up here. And there's nothing wrong with those. Those are great options. Those have all the same side effects that you would expect. So So yeah, that's cool. And what else? Yeah. Um, so yeah, overall, VNS can be done with uh, an implanted device, an external device. You can stimulate through your ear. You can stimulate with ultrasound. You can. Those are pretty much the main options. You got electrical stimulation. You got a lot of options there, and very few options with ultrasound. My choice would always be ultrasound first, but I have no problems with electrical stimulation. It's totally great, totally fine if you go that route. What else? Um, hmm. I think in terms of the market, there's definitely a lot of options for stimulation. Some of the best options, I think some of the best options for VNS are going to be, there's a couple factors to consider here. Obviously, cost is going to be a factor when you're selecting a VNS device. You want to try to select something that could work for you. And you're more likely to eventually have to buy 3 of them. I'm going to estimate that for you to find the right type of VNS electrical device, because there's a lot of them out there, there's a lot of types of VNS. Most people will have to end up buying 3 to find a good fit for them. It's really on average about 3. So you're talking about $200 to $400 per device, and you're looking at about $900 to $1,200 spent on devices that tangibly can influence the vagus nerve. So that can add up. That can definitely add up. But it could be worth it. If you do find the right fit by your 3rd one, that's good. A lot of people oftentimes don't ever find their right fit. And so they kind of have like $1,200 worth of VNS devices sitting in a drawer somewhere in their house that they're just not going to use, and they probably will never use. So that can get costly, and that can cause, it's funny because then people go, well, vagus nerve stimulation probably doesn't work. And it can work. It might not work, but it could work. And I think it's worth trying for sure. Other than that, yeah. Other than that, I would say it's probably a good option to, while it might seem more expensive, it's probably a better option to find someone and hire them. So find an experienced practitioner who understands the vagus nerve, understands the benefit of supplementation and the gut-brain axis, and understands VNS from a technological standpoint. Because oftentimes what you see is if you just try to treat a disorder of the body with supplement or food or exercise or mindset independently of each other, then you typically find that neither of those really work the way that you want them. I've often found that the best types of programs will combine multiple things, like they'll basically combine things like exercise, mindset, food, supplementation, and those alone right there can really get you some good results. So just that can actually provide some tangible improvements for somebody. However, if you add on top of all of those VNS and somebody's stimulating their vagus nerve, I'm talking about some incredible benefits to them. So, I would say it's not really about getting the right device so much as finding a practitioner who uses a device and then working with them. This kind of stuff has to be cohesive. I just really do believe that. And, I've worked with probably 650 plus people in that context, with VNS, with exercise, with diet, with supplementation, and with mindset, and, all the things that go into the vagus nerve. And I am able to get some pretty good results that way. If you're like, well, Sterling, just what's the one supplement you give? Well, I'd be like, well, there's not just one, but one of the best ones would be like choline by tartrate. That's a pretty big piece of what we do from a supplement perspective. Supplements probably represent 15% of what we do. So yeah, if you're like, well, choline's like $13. Thank you. Bye. I would expect that person's going to come back in a couple months and be like, that actually kind of worked, but I'm not anywhere close to where I want to be. And it was like, it was good, which is good, but it's not enough. Or if someone's like, well, what do you do for just give me the exercise thing. I don't want to go through the rigmarole of all this other shit that you got. What about just the exercises? What kind of exercises would you give me for VNS? That's complex. I don't really want to go into that. There's stuff though. There's definitely a whole exercise program that I have for clients that are in there. But if somebody came to me and they're like really sick and they said, just give me the exercise stuff. I don't want to do any supplements. I don't want to do anything with food. I don't want to do any of these other things. I'd be like, well, you're going to miss out on a lot. And besides cost, besides the financial aspects of the vagus nerve, there's also time. And a lot of the people I work with are 50 years or older. So, yeah, I get money can be an issue in everybody's stages of life, but gosh, time, you can technically make more money in some way. Or you can save, or you can budget, or you can cut costs somewhere, or you may have enough money already. You may have a good job. But you can't get time back. And so, I'm going to do my best to ensure that if somebody says, hey, I have really big health issues, and if they try to convince me that they don't need this, 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 and this, and they just try to like buffet pick what one thing I do in my program and just try that alone, I can almost guarantee you that they're not going to get nearly the kind of results that I'm talking about. And so I wouldn't work with someone in that context. Like, I just want to do one thing. I'm like, great. Then do the one thing on your own. And then come back to me, come back to me in 4 months. Let me know how that went. That's it. Like, it's pretty simple. So yeah, vagus nerve stimulation I think is very important. Definitely important. Definitely an important thing to do. Don't neglect it. Don't let time go by if you know you need it. And other than that, stay healthy, stay happy. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Give this video a like if you learned something. Whatever, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys around. Thanks so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye. I just want to see what these buttons do. Ooh, okay. Highlight video, share. Okay, I can share. That's cool. Okay, cool. I'm going to end the stream and see how that went.